Soul is trapped in a prison. Mother is trapped in the veil. Grandfather is trapped on the cold side. R. Kelly is still trapped in the closet. All this and more in today's video, all about your theories. Hey everyone, I'm Brent the Middleman, your middle-aged middle manager in Middle America in a midlife crisis, here today with another video about HBO Max's slithery sci-fi series Raised by Wolves. Today I will be looking at theories I pulled from the comments about what might be happening in this wacky show and what may happen in episode 8. So if you want to avoid spoilers, back out now. Otherwise, make sure you lock the door to the prison planet on your way out, because here we go. Let's start off with one of the more popular theories I'm seeing out there, that Kepler-22b is a prison, trapping our favorite prankster, Soul. Brazuca California 80 says, a few episodes back, Campion said that grandmother's tech could help them create ships and even giant robots. So why not planets? There were large pieces of similar tech spread all over a few episodes back. If so, was Kepler built around Soul as a housing, like for a battery? Or was it grown as a prison? Did they create Soul as a supercomputer and it evolved conscience? Or did they find it and cage it? Could that be the reason why it wants the planet destroyed so it can escape? Are we stuck in a time loop or a human cycle of never-ending violence? Is grandmother's protection from the nurturing kind or the restrictive kind? So many questions, so many few episodes, mind-blown emoji, shocked emoji, mind-blown emoji, shocked emoji. This is a very common theory out there right now, and I can totally see why people think this. Soul definitely seems up to no good, at least from a human perspective, and grandmother revealed last episode that his goal is to destroy the planet. So let's assume that Soul isn't suicidal. Then why else would he want the planet destroyed? Well, for some elaborate prison break, of course. This does make sense and could very well be what's happening, but I'd be pretty bummed if the show we all love is just ripping off an episode of Doctor Who where he had to stop Satan from escaping a planet that was built as a prison. But it wouldn't be the first time a show let me down, lost. But let's take a look at another comment that may give us a reason Soul wants to destroy 22b. Commenter Nashir says, what if the core is an AI designed by humans to reshape the planet so it can support human life? And the core is not just any AI, but a collection of many human minds turned into trees, and now they just want to end their everlasting life, and hence wants to destroy the planet. What if all the trees on the planet are basically a human turned into it? First of all, that's frightening. We've seen a lot of trees on 22b. Are you telling me that each one could be a trapped human? Does that make them Homo sapiens? Sorry about that. I do like the idea that Soul was designed to build a safe planet for humans using botanitech, but what I really like about this comment is the idea that Soul is a collection, which sounds a lot like a collective, of human minds. The whispers that Marcus and Paul both hear in Season 1 do sound like more than one voice speaking to them. Is Soul not just one evil entity, but a collection of the souls of humans who have gone into the core? Or found a way to merge with the core somehow? We saw that Sue, when trapped in the tree, or merged with the tree, was able to communicate through the dead communicator. Can the trapped humans in the core communicate that way as well? So that's how they got into the sim, to communicate with Mother, and to give her the instructions for creating the serpent baby. And they use some frequency that only certain humans can hear to talk to Marcus, Paul, and even Otho on the Ark. They could very well be trying to destroy their planet, and as Nashir says, end their everlasting life. Maybe we will even see Marcus join this collective as we see him going down the hole again in the episode 8 trailer. Speaking of the trailer, another commenter has tried to predict the entire episode based on what we've seen. Do you think he's right? John Smith says, grandmother gives Mother the veil. Mother kills number 7. Vita finds the box, opens it, and becomes Tree of Life. Marcus descends into the well to confront Soul. Grandmother captures Mother with the veil and imprisons her. Grandmother convinces Father, and Grandmother assumes control of the colony. It's hard to argue with any of this, as it lines up with everything we saw in the trailer. But I do hope it's not quite this simple, otherwise that's a pretty darn revealing promo. Vita turning into the Tree of Life is another really popular theory, especially since we saw her eat the fruit and the word vita means life in Latin. I guess she'll be living la vida oca I know, they're getting worse. Do you think John Smith is right about what we'll see, or should he go back to Pocahontas? Commenter Holden92 may agree with John. He says, I think them eating the fruit is going to let Soul slash the entity communicate with them easier. Maybe Vita finds the other seed box by getting instructions by Soul where to find it. I also hope that something happens to the people eating the fruit, because they did give it a lot of attention. They also lingered a long time on Campion deciding to not eat the fruit. Would he have necroed out if he ate it, just like his serpent sibling? Man, I hope this happens. And if Vita does turn into the Tree of Life, what will her fruit do to people? Or to serpents? Or Campion? Let me know your theories in the comments. Princess Cannabut has a theory that I really like. I'm starting to wonder if the veiled parkour man is grandfather, as if in the first cycle his veil was broken, and he made a new one. The only thing that adds to my theory is Vril's line about her legs and how she'll never run faster than a human again. If grandfather is regenerative like father or grandmother, he could have been the one to put the cards out for mother. It seemed his M.O. was wanting to stay close enough to observe and shepherd without interaction. Soon after his last appearance, we start to see the creatures. Maybe he was keeping them at bay, or acting like a scarecrow if the creatures knew what he was capable of. I've thought a lot about the hooded parkour guy from season 1. First off, was that guy the same guy that tried to push pregnant mother down the hole, or were those two different dudes? Also, they did show his face covered up in a weird way, so that definitely could have been a veil. And him being an android would definitely explain his parkour abilities, how he was able to put the snake skeleton together over his cave, and why he is still alive. My previous theory was he was a soul follower, and he was getting power from the dark photons like Marcus did from Mother's eyes. Also, there was snake skin all over his 22B bachelor pad, which seems to be the calling card of a crazy soul believer. But he seemed to be trying to stop the serpent from being born, which is most definitely anti-soul. I do hope we get to see this character again, because it really seems like a loose thread. Unless he was the one who tried to push Mother down the hole, because in that case, he dead. Lucio says, I found it interesting to notice how grandmother was made by the technocrats on a planet with technocrats versus believer. While on Earth, Mother and the other androids are made by the believers by following ancient knowledge. So basically, Mithraea copying the ancient technocrat stuff. It almost seems like things got flipped at some point. I'm going to stop there in the interest of time, but this is an excellent point. It seems like the Mithraic religion on Earth came from the atheist technocrats on Kepler 22b. The technocrats were just writing about what happened and their creations in some journal that humans turned into holy scriptures and a whole religion. And their obsession with this in turn created the atheists. I think the show is trying to tell us that there isn't much difference between a believer and an atheist. It's all just based on circumstance. Now, I don't think this will help us predict what may happen, but I did think it was a cool message the show seems to be trying to convey. This final comment brings up another pretty popular theory that I've seen ever since we got the shot of the angry sack in the episode 8 trailer. Alex Schultz says, I don't think grandmother is evil. I think she regards mother as being evil because she is a necromancer. Grandmother and father are eventually both shepherds from the beginning. I think the person trapped in the rubber skin is eventually mother after she has been removed by grandmother from the children. As this series tries to investigate human nature between good and evil, I believe that father will eventually turn away from grandmother in the end, as she might be strict. Metaphorically speaking, the androids seem to represent biblical angels. Therefore, I believe young Campion is genetically identical to Campion Sturgis. Actors have some resemblance. Campion must be some kind of messiah, as all Campions have been. Okay, a lot to unpack here. The most popular theory is that the angry sack is actually grandmother's veil trapping mother. Some people have even pointed out that you can see red hair in the sack and that the carpet really does match the drapes. He thinks that grandmother and father will partner up and that father will disagree with her parenting style and eventually file for divorce. It's that old story of a guy in an unhappy marriage, and a new fun woman comes into his life and imprisons his wife in a sack while they get to know each other, until eventually he realizes that she's evil and she just wants to turn the kids into disgusting acid ocean mermaid creatures. You know, that old story. As for the Campions being related, this has been a popular theory for a while, that young Campion is genetically linked to older Campion. My theory was that they are also from the line of original Kepler humans who came to Earth, or at least their embryos. giving them a special connection to 22B and possibly to Soul and the Dark Photon energy. My favorite part of having this channel is reading all of your theories and interacting with you guys in the comments. It reminds me of the old Lost message boards I used to post theories on when that show was at its peak. I want to thank everyone for helping the channel move past 4,000 subscribers. It really means a lot that you are enjoying the videos and are willing to support with a sub. I'll be back with more videos soon on Raised by Wolves and some other fun mystery shows like Severance, The Boys, and The Umbrella Academy. If you have other shows I should check out, definitely let me know. As always, thank you for watching, and once again, I'm Brent the Middleman, and I'll see you next time.